Scary things happening worldwide, but not discussing? In my view, human trafficking taking place in Libya receives little attention from the public. In Libya, as mentioned, there are slave markets, while the rest of the world sells slaves discreetly. Slavery is terrible in all its manifestations, but here they openly trade in human beings and no one does anything. Link. And if you also consider sex trafficking, then all countries are involved here. Quiet epidemic, Lyme disease is the fastest growing transmissible disease in the USA. This is an infectious disease caused by bacteria. The name of the bacteria that is transmitted to humans from the bite of an infected black-legged tick. The disease occurs 6 times more often than HIV and twice as often as breast cancer. CDC predicts up to 1 million infections this year, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. I urge everyone who reads this to study the issue in order to protect themselves and their loved ones. Education and awareness save lives. Well, fuck it, I'll stay at home and jerk off to games. Don't really want to get infected with Lyme disease. We no longer have any form of privacy and anonymity, no matter how hard we try to preserve it. Check this out, it's interesting, a new internet where you own your personal data. Founded by Tim Berners-Lee, the internet creator. Reception disease is like chronic fatigue syndrome. In my university, there is a team of scientists observing a family that ate a deer infected with a chronic wasting disease. It's been about 10 years since they started studying them, and it's definitely scary, while they keep insisting we can't do anything about it. Worked with Guy, best friend ever, died from a similar bullshit, a sickness. Kreisfeld Jacob, he died at 35, having lived for 15 years after eating venison. This is the worst way to die that you can imagine. Looks like Alzheimer's disease in fast forward. Link updated. He was unaware that this meat should not be eaten. He was a hunter, and doctors stated that venison may have caused his death, although it was never established exactly what he ate and when. Antibiotic-resistant sexually transmitted infections and other antibiotic-resistant infections. Incurable gonorrhea exists right now. Fucking swing, fuck Coachella sounds like the name of a sexually transmitted disease. Worse, alcohol-resistant strains emerging in hospitals due to bacterial resistance to alcohol. This implies that our antibacterial solutions will become significantly less effective. Link. Kessler syndrome. The sky above us, space, is cluttered with orbital debris. Some remains are even impossible to detect. Thus, these remains collide with satellites. And the satellites themselves become debris, which disables even more satellites. Ultimately, we may lack GPS signals, research, and more, affecting aircraft and ship communication systems. Restoring everything will take years. I observed a decrease in bee and butterfly populations. Before each spring, I saw hundreds. This year, max 20 bees and butterflies. Incredible to witness such drastic changes in under 10 years. In the past 5-10 years, insect population in our area has noticeably declined. No fireflies, bees, butterflies anymore. This year is the first without frogs in our pool, organizing an orgy. It's alarming to consider how rapidly everything has changed. As a biologist, I'm happy this is a top comment. This issue lacks attention it deserves as the threat is enormous. Approximately 80% of bird species depend on insects for survival, while the remaining 20% indirectly depend on insects. According to estimates, 90% of wild plant species will die without insects. People often overlook the ecological role that irritating insects like wasps play. The rapid decline in insect populations is the most significant threat that humans have ever faced. Given that many edible crops require insect pollination, this will also have a colossal impact on the economy. Products pollinated by insects, apples, pears, cucumbers, berries, pumpkins, and more. But we won't be foodless. Corn, wheat, rice, peas, bananas, and more can be grown insect-free. Insect apocalypse. Link. Everyone knows climate change is scary, but they understand our ecosystem can collapse. Plastic, it's everywhere, in waste, food, bodies, water. Obviously, it's also in the sea. Certainly, grocery stores are gradually adapting. They cease utilizing plastic bags, which is fantastic. But what frightens me is that plastic has taken over everything in our lives. It is even present in money. We still cannot cease using it, so waste is increasing, along with problems in our bodies caused by all the plastic particles we consume. Scientists find it difficult to find control groups for study because inside literally every person and animal tested by them, there are microdoses of plastic. Thank you all for causing me alarm. This means that we're fucked by 2050.